Good evening, friends, and welcome to our Tuesday evening healing service. I'm practitioner Jennifer Livingston, and today it is my pleasure to be the speaker for this evening's service. Now, I want to start out by just sharing a few ideas with you about the topic. As you know, a new adventure begins. And friends, today is the 16th day of January. The year is just a little over 2 weeks old, so it's still brand new. And as we rise to meet each new day, each new week, a new month, we are filled with an anticipation of what will unfold in our lives this year. And for many of us, this is an opportunity to do something new, something we have never done before. For me, I say to myself, I want to try something exciting. Maybe I'd like to do some skydiving, bungee jumping. I am just thinking anything to do with water or air that I haven't done yet, because I certainly swim and I do take the plane, but no, of my own self, I want to get into something different and exciting. And it doesn't have to be work. It definitely has to be something fun. And so with this feeling of wanting to do or have a new experience, I've titled the sharing this evening, A New Adventure Begins. And I'd like to start out the talk with a reading from one of the Daily Motivators by Ralph Marston, which is part of the inspiration for this evening's service. And the reading goes like this. It says, what you have worked toward your whole life, you've now attained. Certainly, it might not be exactly the way you imagine, but that just makes it even better. Your most authentic priorities have brought you to this moment, to this situation. You have successfully created a unique and valuable set of experiences. Perhaps you're thrilled about how it has gone and what you've done. Or maybe you're disappointed about some of it or much of it. Either way, now is your time to put it all to a newer, higher, more enlightened use. Here you are, with the wisdom and experience to live more richly than before. Consider all the opportunities you've had and smile to yourself, because no matter how they all turn out, now you are greeted with an even better opportunity. Now is your chance to move forward with understanding, with purpose, with love. Now the adventure begins, and here you are, ready to give it everything you have. Yes, friends, at the start of this new year, we are ready to give it everything we have. And so, having set our intentions at our visioning workshop last week with Reverend Michelle in the areas of relationships, health, vocation, or creative self-expression, volunteering, and time and money freedom, for us to confidently move forward to have a new experience, we must first be willing to do the mental work. You see, nothing outside there is going to change until we make those changes within. And it starts with us. First of all, by changing our thoughts. Science of Mind 101. This is the basis of our teaching. Change your thinking, change your life. We cannot expect to have a new adventure if we are still in the old ways of thinking and the old way of being. Remember, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, tells us in our Science of Mind textbook, and he says, change the idea of a thing and you'll change the thing. And to learn how to think is to learn how to live. In the same vein, author Louise Hay, in her book, Heart Thoughts, states, What is important in this moment is what you're choosing to think and believe and say right now. She says these thoughts and words will create your future. Your thoughts form the experiences of tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year. So, friends, if we truly want to have a new adventure this year, then I want to share with you an exercise that I use personally at the start of my year. And it is to ask myself a couple of questions for my own self-reflection. And I'm going to share screen with you for a moment so that you can see the questions. And feel free to write down your answers, whatever is the first thought that comes to you as I share the questions. So let me just share screen with you. And that you have an opportunity to look at the questions for yourself. So here we go. It says, first question, what would you like to do for yourself this year that you did not do for yourself last year? Something you may want to think about. If you have paper and pen handy, you can jot it down, or you can simply make note of the questions and answer them later. Next, what would you like to let go of this year that you clung so tightly to last year? And that can be just about anything that comes to mind as your first thought. What is it that you would like to let go of this year? Is it person, place, or thing? I don't know. And then the third question I usually ask myself is, what can you do for yourself this year in a constructive way? And then I ask myself, what can I do? So we can each ask ourselves, what can we do for ourselves this year in a constructive way, in a positive way, something that we can do that will uplift or inspire our own selves. What is it that you think of that you can do? And then finally, ask yourself, are you willing to do the work that will bring about these changes? And friends, I will leave this up for a few moments just for anyone else who wants to capture it, the questions. And I'll pause here for a moment to ask if anyone is willing to share maybe just one answer of one of the questions. And most importantly, when you're sharing, just let me know, how did this make you feel? Anyone? You can unmute. I can start off and share my answer to the first question. What would I like to do for myself this year that I did not do for myself last year? Firstly, I'd like to get my exercise program back on track. So I want to do more self-care. And why is that? For most of you who know me, I usually walk every morning religiously. And then last year, if you recall, when I had that experience with my eye, I stopped walking because I couldn't see properly to go out into the early morning, and I didn't want to take a chance, by myself, not seeing very well. And it went on like that from one day to the next that, well, you didn't go yesterday and I didn't go the next day. And even when I was over the issue with my eye, I didn't go back to walk. And it turned out that it was an entire year. I had stopped walking from just about the beginning of the year. And come December, when I said, yes, you really need to get back, holiday is coming up and you're going to eat a lot. No, nothing happened. Still didn't do that. And so I made the commitment, because that was one of the aspects of our vision board, healthy living. And I said, this year, I would like to go back to my exercise program and do more self-care. I'm happy to report that, yes, I started walking last week, Monday, and I've been going 3 times a week, did 3 days last week, and I went back again this week. But I'm getting there. The thing is, I feel good about the fact that I have at least started back my exercise program. And I'm on my way to doing a little more, doing more a healthy lifestyle just by changing one thing, exercising. Now that I have shared, is anyone else willing to open their mic and share something that they would like to change this year? Before I take the questions down. Anyone?
Sure, Jen.
Sure.
When it came to question number 2, what would you like to let go of?
Yes.
And I found there were so many things that I needed to let go of. Things that I had been holding on to for a bit of time. Not necessarily things from last year, but could be from way before that. That, some of it was involving persons, some of it was involving situations, those kinds of situations that you feel hard done by, and, feel like people mash your corn and them kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did make a decision at the workshop, and also, when the question came up again here, that it was time.
Yes.
It was time to just put it down and let go of it. And as a matter of fact, one of the situations kind of resolved itself because the other person involved called me about a situation, another situation. And, since we were talking, I said, and by the way, since we're talking, we need to talk about this, and and it turns out, we were able to resolve it amicably, with a clearer understanding, for me anyway, of what the rules of the game are.
Awesome.
So, I no longer need to feel hard done by, because I have a choice.
There you go. We always have a choice. And so these questions are really for ourselves to just decide what we want to do. So I'm going to stop sharing as I continue with this presentation.
Sorry, Jen, I'm sorry. Can I go, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, my love. I didn't realize you were.
No, I was waiting for Carol, because it's almost like I could feel my mouth opening and the same words were coming out. Like, yes, for the first,
I could resonate with that too.
The first question, at the end of last year, I was sending in a proposal to a client, and they wanted an updated CV. And when I sent in the CV, I realized I had not done any development work professionally
for yourself
maybe about 5 years. And I just took it for granted, because I'm just going along doing what I do. What I want to let go of is my tendency to small up myself. I'm very good in my professional life, but like in my family, I'm so afraid of being judged that I often just don't say anything and just deal with issues around my sister, my older sister, issues around decisions in the family. I just don't say anything, because I've heard it said that you think you know everything.
I can relate.
What can you do for yourself? There is so much more I can do for myself, and I need to articulate that differently. I can't talk about that yet.
All right. Yes. No, man, take your time. This is just for you to do your own internal self-reflection, Sandy.
Yes,
thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Well, maybe I can go according to what Jean what's her name? Jean, can't remember her last name. The no more smalling up of me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes,
Jean,
yes,
yeah, no, I know who you mean. Forget her name now.
Anyway, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And us playing small really don't serve any purpose, you know. So, yeah,
No, it doesn't.
it
And
doesn't.
it's actually giving who is wanting to small you up an opportunity to small you up. So,
I think it's Marianne Williamson who has that quote about us
no,
playing small, is it?
well, she has one, but I know the one that
Candy is talking about.
Candy is referring to is a Jamaican author, a Jamaican
Okay.
poet who has a poem about no more smiling up of yourself.
Of yourself. Yes, I think I've heard that poem.
Wilson
Yes, yes.
was married to Gladstone Wilson.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. I'm sure I'm gonna stop sharing. I hope everybody had a chance to even just make a note of the questions, and you can do this work for yourselves after we're finished here this evening. But I'm just gonna continue with the presentation. So let me just ensure. And so, friends, as both Sandy and Carol shared, you know, us playing small indeed does not serve any purpose. It's easy for us to, as I would say, small up myself, but you know, we all have something that we want to share with the world. And so we just need to go out there this year and do that. So I thank you again, Carol and Sandy, for participating so openly. So of course, while we're ready to take on our new adventure, we must also remember to mindfully plot our path ahead. In a previous edition of the Science of Mind magazine a few years ago, Dr. Ken Gordon, one of our former spiritual leaders for Centers for Spiritual Living, shared a story about an exchange he had with a gentleman at a conference he attended. And Dr. Gordon said the gentleman told him an enlightening story about a friend he used to ride motorcycles with. And this man said that it's common for bikers when on a road trip for them to take turns going in the lead. However, on one such trip, the gentleman said he noticed his friend never once took the lead. And when he asked him about it, the friend apologized and explained that he was diagnosed with early onset dementia, and that his problem wasn't that he didn't know where he was going. He was quite aware of where he was and where he was headed. But the issue was he could no longer envision the route to get there. Now, friends, I hope that none of us are in the early stages of dementia. But I share the story with you for you to see the importance of us having a plan and a vision for where we want to get to this year. So while the new year will bring us new adventures, we must be mindful that we are not just going along without a clear direction, and that will come by committing ourselves to being faithful to the ideas we have placed on our vision board. So I hope we're looking at it every day, those of us who did that workshop, and then to become more deeply grounded in the principles of science of mind and to apply them in our daily lives. So we must do the work. There's no way around it. So we must engage in our affirmative prayers, meditation, for those of us who like to meditate, journaling, that's another spiritual practice that we can engage in. And of course, if it's only just reading, doing your daily readings, reading the Science of Mind magazine or any inspirational literature, 365 days of richer living, all of these will help to guide us every step of the way this year. And so, in this brief sharing, we look forward to all the good that this new year holds. And I'll now like to share with you a reading by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And it's an excerpt from a talk that is entitled How to Make New Year's Resolutions Come True. And this is from his series, This Thing Called Life. It was shared with us by the Science of Mind archive, so you may have come across it before. But I would just like to invite you right where you are to just Close your eyes and listen for a moment. We can say, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my strength. My help cometh from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. I am lifting up my whole thought to the inflow of divine strength and wisdom. And I do believe that today and tomorrow and every day, I am in silent partnership with God. I believe that the Spirit goes before me and prepares the way. I believe that every doorway is open, that new opportunities are presenting themselves. New ideas are coming into my mind. I am meeting new situations. This whole new year shall be filled with success, love, and happiness, and friendship. And I expect this to happen. I anticipate it, and I gladly share everything I have with others. Divine intelligence flows through me, causing me to think and to act in such a way as to bring good into my experience and into the experience of everyone with whom I deal. I am one with the infinite presence. I am one with the eternal good. I am in partnership with all the presence there is. So be it, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is. So friends, in closing, let us see ourselves affirming this every day of this new year. I'm in partnership with all the presence there is. And watch as our good unfolds and our new adventure begins. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you. So
Okay.
yes, I'll take feedback here as well, or sharing anything you want to talk about in this evening's presentation.
And just a reminder to people, if you have any prayer requests, please put them in the chat.
Yes, thank you. Carol is my assistant, my able assistant this evening. Yes, prayer requests can be put in the chat in the meantime. Yes. Anyone wants to share? I know both Sandy and Carol did, but for the other persons on this evening's meeting, any takeaways from the presentation?
Well, I wrote down all the questions, so I'm going to go back and review and, take it into consideration.
Sure. Yes, work is always in and up on ourselves. And you can just check if there's anything on YouTube. I don't know. But in the meantime, the prayer requests can come in.
I'm not
one
seeing
for
any
Dawn.
yet. Oh, Dawn would like a treatment of health and love.
And love. Okay. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Sharpness of mind and thinking.
Go again, Sandy. Sorry, I missed something.
Sharpness of mind and thinking.
You know, your voice dipped at this.
Clarity.
Yes.
Clarity. No.
No?
Yeah.
Right. Go with it. Tell me exactly what you said. What of mind?
Sharpness.
Sharpness. Sandy, hello. I just tell us that none of us is in early stage dementia. Did you not listen to my Micah story?
I find myself jumping from one activity to the other. Well, maybe it's order that I need. I don't know.
No. Sharpness of mind and thinking. It's exactly what you asked for. No, we're praying for what we asked for. Okay.
Well, I would like clarity. That's what I would.
Carol, so we will do them separately, individually. Clarity. So I am going to start off with Dawn. Dawn wants 2 treatments. Dawn, I'll start with health and then I'll close with love for everybody, including you. Is that okay? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's just begin with a treatment of health. And I'm going to include in this treatment a treatment as well for Carl, who I know is under the weather with some kind of flu-like symptoms. So I have health challenges right here with me too. So let us go within to that perfect place of stillness, recognizing that presence and power, that which brought us into being and created each one of us out of itself. That presence is God, and we are one with it. And in this knowing, I speak this word for an affirmative prayer of health for Dawn and for Carl and for anyone else within the sound of my voice who is open and receptive to this treatment of health. I know that God is health, and that health surrounds us. In that health, we safely dwell. It's above, beneath, within us. Health is ours and all is well. And in this knowing, I know that every cell and tissue and fiber and atom of their being this evening is now regenerating, revitalizing. It is refreshed and invigorated with that perfect principle of health. It is that health which now attends to every physical need of Dawn and of Carl and of everyone else who is open and receptive to this treatment of health. I know that that perfect blueprint of perfection and wholeness is the underlying principle. And so Dawn is healthy, perfect, whole, and complete. I am knowing that anything unlike this perfect presence of health is now dissolved and dissipated. And so I know for Dawn and for Carl and for anyone else who's open, that right here and right now, they're re-energized, revitalized, reinvigorated. I know that that perfect health of God is now out picturing in through and as every cell, tissue, and fiber of their being. Health is their experience now. I accept this, I believe this, and I know this to be the truth as I joyously release this word to that perfect outpicturing in through and as the health of Dawn and Carl and anyone else who is in need of a treatment of health. I give thanks, I truly give thanks, and I release this word to that infinite law of mind, knowing that all this is already so, and so it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome. And now please join me in an affirmative prayer of sharpness of mind and thinking for Sandy. There is only one presence, one power, one infinite intelligence that governs, guards, and guides. That presence is God, and we are one with it. And in this knowing, I speak this word for Sandra. I am knowing that every idea that is necessary for the sharpness of her mind and her thinking is now out picturing in, through, and as her experience this evening. I know that that infinite intelligence, that which guides, directs, inspires, and knows what to do, it is that which is guiding Sandy in every decision that she takes. It is that intelligence that allows her to think clearly. It is that intelligence that gives her the sharpness of mind so that every activity in which she's involved, that she's fully present in the moment.
Yes.
I know that that intelligence which is God is working through every idea, everything that concerns Sandy is in order. It is perfectly ordained, and it is out picturing in the right and perfect sequence. So any idea of otherness, anything unlike this clarity and this sharpness and this intelligence that I know already is, it is who she is, it is what she does, it is that present that she simply allows herself to be guided, to be directed. I know that that presence now attends everything that concerns Sandy. And I know for her that in this new year, that sharpness and that clarity of thinking and that intelligence is now out picturing in the decisions that she takes, in every idea that she undertakes. I know that that intelligence is simply expressing in every area of her life this evening and her affairs. I truly accept that this is the truth of Sandy right here and right now. And I joyously release this word to that infinite intelligence that has already said yes. Yes, to the sharpness of her thoughts, to the knowingness that she already is that intelligence who knows what she needs to do right here and right now. I give thanks. I truly give thanks as I release this word to law, knowing that all this is already so, and so it is.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome. And it is in this continued consciousness that I speak this word for Karen, who has asked for an affirmative prayer of clarity. I am knowing that that clarity wishes God now allows Carol to see with clear eyes and clear vision all that she needs to do. Every idea that comes to Carol comes to her clearly. She sees easily and effortlessly all that she needs to undertake this new year. I know that clarity and that vision allows her to see more than she has seen before. It allows her to seize the moment. It allows her to seize every opportunity that is open to her. It is that clarity of mind that allows her to make decisions with wisdom, with intelligence. It is that clarity that allows her to know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And so it is that clarity that now attends Carol every step of the way this new year. Everything she undertakes unfolds in right and perfect order because that clarity of vision allows her to see vistas beyond that which she has experienced before. And so as she allows herself to see a greater and greater experience in this new year, I know that she sees clearly because there are no clouds anywhere clouding her vision. Everywhere she looks, she sees with the eyes of God. And so she can see clearly her pathway. Every person she interacts with, she knows what to do in every moment because that vision is clear. I give thanks for this clarity that is already attending Carol, even right here and right now in this moment. And I release this word to that infinite law of mind that has already said yes. Yes to everything that concerneth Carol and the clarity that she needs to guide her throughout this year. Thank you, God, that this is so now. And so it is.
And so it is indeed. There are no impediments to my
There you
prayer.
go.
Thank you.
Welcome, Carol.
I'm
And
not
now I will do the treatment of love for Dawn if there are any other requests for affirmative prayers on YouTube or in the chat. Then I'm going to do an affirmative prayer of love, especially specifically for Dawn, but for all of us within the sound of my voice and every person, every member of our spiritual community, indeed our island home, Jamaica. All we need is love. So please join me in this affirmative prayer of love. I am knowing that there is only one presence, one power. It is God, and God is love. And knowing that God is love and that love is all there is, I speak this word for Dawn, very specially this evening. And I also include in this affirmative prayer every person within the sound of my voice and those who are open and receptive to this word that is spoken. I know that love is who we are. And so as love has embodied itself in Dawn this evening, I know that she is loving, lovable, and loved. And so I know that that which she is seeking is also seeking her, because there cannot be a desire for which there is no fulfillment. So that love which is Dawn, which created her out of itself and called it good, is now enveloping and enfolding her in the perfect arms of love. I know that every step of the way this year that Dawn meets with love, every person with whom she interacts is loving, is lovable, and she is loved. And so I know that every activity in which she participates is done so in love. And out of this abundance of love that the universe continues to pour into her experience, she allows this love to flow out from her. It touches into wholeness. Anything unlike this love, I know that there is not a spot where God is not. And as God is this love, I am knowing for Dawn that this love is simply inspiring and uplifting her this evening. It is on the arms of love that she floats through this new year, and that she knows that every step of the way this love is guiding, it is directing her. It is saying, come, stay here with me a while, because love is who we are. And feeling the fullness of this faith, I simply release this world lovingly to that infinite law of mind that has already said yes. Yes to love as Dawn's experience this evening, and for the experience of every one of us in our homes, in our places of work, in our community, in our center, everywhere that we go along this pathway this year. Love attends our way. We are enfolded in this love. We are uplifted by this love. And we simply allow love to be who we are and what we do. Thank you, God, that this is so now. And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome, Miss Dawn. If there are no other treatments or requests for affirmative prayer, then there are just one main reminder, and that is for this week, Sunday, it's our 42nd annual general meeting. So I'd encourage you all to come out and be there, be a part of the AGM as we chart our new way forward this new year. And of course, I know that Lifeline is on the last Thursday. Sandy had shared that with us last week. Remind me of your guest presenter, Sandy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. We had confirmed Reverend Stephen Rambo.
Right. Okay.
However,
he was so excited about serving, as our guest, that he totally forgot he had another commitment. So he asked, please, invite him again. He's really, really sorry. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm looking, there's somebody I'm actually speaking to
At this time, okay, so we will have an announcement next week.
no, you'll have it tonight, one way or the
Oh,
other.
okay, no problem. Awesome. So look out for Lifeline for the last Thursday of the month with another exciting guest. And of course, this Sunday, be in church, of course, before for Sunday morning celebration with Reverend Michelle, and then join us for 42nd annual general meeting. And with those two reminders, of course, next week, Tuesday, there will be another practitioner here leading our spiritual mind healing service. If anyone knows that, who will that be?
That's me.
That's you, Sandy? Awesome. So look forward to that, sharing. And so now, before we move the prayer of our center and of Jamaica, I would just like to remind us, if we are so inclined and that we feel that we have been blessed by the sharing this evening, to please go to our donate page at donate.templeoflightcsl.org. And as you hit the donate button, I'm going to ask you to just join me in our love offering blessing. We all know it, so please join me as we say, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou
fruitful,
increase
and
multiply. Bless, prosper,
prosper,
and enrich everyone
who you touch,
and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father. And so
it
it is. Friends, we thank you for your contribution and for continuing to help us to be a beacon of light in the world. I know I'd like to invite you to join me in the prayer of our center. If you know it, you can say along, and we will begin together. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so it is. Amen. And now the prayer of Jamaica together. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Thank you, Carol, for being my assistant. And thank you each and everyone for being here this evening. And I now invite you to join me in our closing affirmative prayer. And so, as we conclude this evening's sharing, I am knowing that for every person who has allowed themselves to participate in this evening activity called a Spiritual Mind Healing Service, I know for them that they have shared fully from that place of love and understanding. And so I know as this new year unfolds and their new adventures begin, that each one of us individually and all of us collectively open ourselves to the new opportunities, to the new vistas, to the new experiences that will flow into our lives this year. We look forward to celebrating each and every day of this year, each new day, each new week, each new month, all the goodness that God is. So we just let the new adventure begin. I accept this, I believe this, and I release this word to that infinite law of mind that has already said yes. Thank you, God, that this is so now. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you all for being here. Great sharing. Thanks again.